right, let's get to the next part of morning meeting. Last time I was explaining how you use your grid to set up your morning meeting question of the day. So that part's done. Now, what do you do? So you have the question of the day. Fantastic. So for example, I said your sticky notes are going to be on your desk. The kids come in, they get it. They look at the question of the day. They rip off a sticky note. They write their answer on it. They stick it on the board. And there's step one. Let's talk about rewarding this because this is such an important part of the day. I always like to incentivize it, and it's actually one of my favorite parts of the day. I use the question of the day drawing system, which is what we're going to talk about today, all the time. So, like always, let's talk about cost to get started. Here's the good news is, if you're like me and you go to Costco, you need a large jar like this, free. The kids write their question of the day. It's over. It's always the first part of the day. They only get one shot unless they were late. They can always do it later, but they get the one chance in the morning. And then I always have a student. One of the student jobs is to collect the sticky notes every day, and they go to the board. Here's a useful trick when you're drawing them. Start early with teaching the kids when they do it to fold the sticky note in half, but put the sticky part back on itself. Just fold it one time. Put the sticky note back on itself. You put this. They take the sticky notes. They stick them in the jar. How do you use this during the course of the day? So the kids have answered the question of the day. They've collected all the sticky notes. They're by your desk. What are we going to do with this? Here's what I do. And I think you can be as creative as you want to be. But here's what I do. I use it for 4 or 5 different times during the day. Let's say, for example, the kids are all being quiet and they're on task and the lesson's going great. I will quietly just pull the sticky note jar over to my desk. There's always one kid that notices, and they all start kind of get even quieter. And I'll just take out a note. I'm like, oh. And while they're working, I'll take it and I'll very purposefully open it up, read it. I'm like, oh. And then I usually keep candy by my desk, or like I said, there's all the kinds of rewards. Not every school you can't always do candy, so you do like a sit with a friend, or you win a couple things, or you get like a little token or an eraser, whatever incentivizes your kids. It's up to you. That's totally independent. And then I'll just say, hey, as long as their name is on the sticky note, the question is filled out properly, I'll just call them off my desk quietly, and they'll come to think. And I usually do like 3 or 4, depending on how good they are, and then I stop. And once you take the sticky note out, I put it right in the trash can. It's done. It's one and done. You don't get to go back in the jar. So there's one way to do it. So rewarding the good work. Another time is, let's say the lesson didn't go as well as you would have hoped. Hopefully that doesn't happen to you very often, but it happens to me sometimes. I do it as a classroom reset. I'm like, listen, that didn't go exactly as I planned. Let's everybody regroup, and once we get back on track, I'll do some drawings. And that way it's an instant buy-in, super easy to do, and it's a real good way to change the energy in the room. I also do it if there was like a rough patch in the day where I had to make a lot of corrections in a short period of time, because I hate that feeling. I hate when the room feels, I'm sure you felt it before, the room just feels heavy, because I dislike disciplining students. I try my best to always build them up, but the world is what it is. Sometimes you have to do discipline. It can't always be carrots. Sometimes it has to be a little bit of a stick. So I will do is I'll just tell the kids, like, look, I don't love the vibe in the room right now. Let's flip it. So you guys give me 5 minutes of good work, and I want to be in a good mood. I know you guys want to be in a good mood, and I'll do drawings as soon as we get that 5 minutes. Just 5 minutes of quiet, everybody work, and there we go. What else can you do with the question of the day with the drawing system? I'll have a helper. They love drawing the names. So that's like I usually let them choose what kind of jobs we're going to do for the year. That is always top tier. Somebody wants to be the person who draws the names. Yes, you got real specific, like there's no picking your friends. It's always a blind draw. The numbers are always folded, so you can't really see what's there, and just go thing. I've had a lot of success with that, so it's a great way to build that community and get the kids involved. And it's really good with the 2 kids that don't get along when they're doing the drawings. Let's say they'd have a great day together. That breaks the ice, because now they're giving that kid, they pick the kid's name. I mean, it's just happens sometimes, but it's a nice way to make students that normally wouldn't interact kind of be on the same team. It's kind of nice. It's a nice little moment. So, I mean, I'm sure in your classroom, you can probably think of hundreds of ways to use it. It just it's always based on reward, and it's so simple. Like so, every week you start fresh. It costs nothing except for sticky notes, and you get it. I don't know. I love pretzel bites, so I usually have one of these. I'm sure if you don't, there's probably somebody in your school that has a creamer container or something, and you can be as fancy as you want to be. The one I have in my classroom just says "Question of the Day" on a piece of uh, construction paper. I'm a very basic person. I keep things pretty simple. It's is what it is. It's the question of the day. I didn't. But if you're like crafty, you could paint the jar. The students could paint the jar. They could design the question of the day, and there's so many ways to get them involved in what's going on. And it really does. What surprised me is it really teaches uh, honesty and fairness. I've seen kids who don't necessarily like another kid, but if their sticky note fell on the ground, I've literally seen them stop, pick it up, and put it back in the jar and tell the kid, "Hey, your sticky note fell. I put it in there for you." These are kids that don't ever talk to each other. In fact, there's sometimes they're kids that actually pick on each other and don't get along in class. I don't know why it works. I just know it does. And like I said, if you're newer to teaching or you're just looking to try something new, I love things that cost nothing. This costs nothing. It's just drawing names. So I really hope this helps you. I hope it's something you can find useful. And whatever your personality is, your spin, it will adapt to whatever you need to be. You can do whatever you want to do. I'm sure there's so many people out there with clever ideas that are way better than what I come up with. I just know what works for me. So um, I hope you enjoyed it. Hope it works. If you have any questions, as always, feel free. Put in the comments and I'll tell you whatever I know. I don't ever claim to be an expert, but I'm happy to share what I do know and what I know works.